Hello and welcome to the Art of Living Ashram as we speak to Ravi, Shankar and speak to some of the more challenging questions that the next decade is going to throw up. But before we come to the next decade, let's talk about the present one and the very interesting times that we've had in the last few years. Gurudev, thank you very much for speaking with us. Let me begin by asking you, the last time I interviewed you, it was I think at this very space about 6 years ago, we were at the beginning of an economic boom. The country was stirring, so to speak, economically. We had a huge stock market boom. The world also has seen a huge economic boom. And then we saw a bust of sorts, more internationally and less in India. How has this phase been from your vantage point right here, perhaps, at the ashram?
It has woken up people, in some way it has shaken people and woken up. Before we used to hear about movers and shakers of the world, now it's waking people up and, shaken and woken. I think it's a good thing that's happening. People are seeing that there is more purpose to life than just amassing wealth.
And how do you think this phase has either affected positively or negatively many of the people that follow you, for instance?
It has created a sense of insecurity and fear in a lot of people. And anxiety has risen, depression has set in. These things are happening world over. At the same time, people are really doing a soul searching for what is the meaning of life, what is the purpose of life. That this could happen anywhere in the world, then what we are running for. This sort of inquiry has set in motion, which we have been having in this country known for thousands of years. This Vairagya and, Jnana and Vairagya, which people used to go on an inquiry, self-inquiry trip. But where people are not open to this are in deep crisis. That's where I feel that India has a responsibility to reach out to the world and give them this philosophical or spiritual strength which is unique to our culture, which can help millions of people get back on track. And it also induces a new hope in people.
Again, I refer to this point 6 years ago when I would have thought that many people were actually getting more spiritually armed and spiritually aware. And yet, for various reasons, maybe the lure of prosperity or the lure of sudden economic well-being seem to have caused people to drift. Is that something you agree with?
Fortunately in this country, the wealthy people were all spiritual. And it has been in their tradition. Coming to the young people, they of course get into the glamour of media and glamour of modernization or westernization. They want to have smaller families. They're coming out of the old family values. It is they who have taken more suffering. So what is most essential now is the prosperity should not break the family or family ties and values. And prosperity should go in hand with some corporate social responsibility as well. Consumerism has to be checked at many levels. And youngsters, I see that, they are much more aware of this factor. And youngsters today are coming up in large numbers to say simple life, simple marriages, simple ceremonies. They are not it. They are not into the old trip of exhibitionism of their wealth and no ostentatious things. They want to be more simple.
When the economists look at countries like India and China, the concept of consumerism is almost ingrained into growth and prosperity. And if you're saying that consumerism is something that needs to be checked, how do we do it?
You have to put a limit, Ambition is okay, but ambition becomes over-ambitiousness and greed kills the person. Then it is no good. Same with consumerism. It's good to go in for new things, new technology, new models, but So possessing more than what you need is what I call the worst phase of consumerism. That needs to be checked.
And who's, I mean, I think the question that will be asked then
when
is
who's going checked, that means it should be there, no, only then you can check it. I'm not saying consumerism should never be there, because it is part of economy. But it should be checked. Ambition is good to have, but should be under check. You can't expect everybody to be a recluse or totally dedicate themselves in the spiritual line. There are some people who can do this and who can be of an inspiration for the rest of the population, whom people can depend on. But other than that, the general population need to have a check on that. And see, today our country, there is so much unemployment. At the same time, there is so many opportunities for employment. We are short of workers in every field, almost every field. Plumbers, electricians, workers, builders, nurses. At the same time, there is an unemployment. This disparity is there is some communication gap. Some mismatch is happening. That needs to be attended to. And the haves and have-nots, the gap between them is increasing day by day. That is appalling. That will create crime in the society. And crime is the biggest hindrance for prosperity. Nobody can deny we have so much corruption in this country. But violence is not the solution.